not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore.
Good morning, expat down under followers. There's not many of you, so you're a privileged bunch because you've got me all to yourself, which I'm sure you don't really want. But we arrived down in Albany last night, roughly about, I think it was about 8 o'clock, 8:30. We actually set off at 12:30, so people might be thinking, how the hell can it take you 7 hours or so to get to Albany? And it isn't actually 7 hours, it's only about five and a half hours tops. But we had to make a few detours on the way down. We got our priorities right. We went to a good Chinese in Northbridge to fill ourselves up for the journey, and then we headed down here, and we've actually come to a place called Middleton Beach, I think, and it's a Big 4 campsite. Or if you don't want to camp, you can bring your trailer or your caravan, or you can even stay in the like, I don't know what you call them, like at home they probably call them log cabins, but here like chalets, and they've even got 2-story ones what you can stay in if you want to live it up. And we've got one here just coming in now with the caravan. They're just arriving. So yeah, it's a pretty amazing place. I mean, I'm not actually an avid camper, to be honest. I've been with my wife and daughter, but they're not really into it, and I think if they're not into it, it doesn't make camping very pleasurable, especially if you don't like using communal toilets and showers and what have you, which a lot of people don't, which I get. I don't particularly, but it's easy for a guy. So there's like four guys down here, and we're here till tomorrow, so it's a long trek. I mean, it took us 7 hours. It'll take us probably 5.5 going back, so it's a long drive just to come for 2 days. But that's the beauty of it. The actual enjoyment part of it is actually the road trip as well, because you get some really good scenery driving down here. So we're going to be here for another probably a half an hour or so, and then I think we're going to be going over to Denmark. For anyone watching overseas, obviously we don't mean Denmark, we mean Denmark, Western Australia, which is about a half an hour drive from Albany, or so I believe. So we're going to go down there. We're also going to go to the Gap, which I'd never actually heard of until last weekend, when it was like all over the news where some guy had actually fallen 7 metres and I think broke his pelvis and his ankle perhaps, and was in a pretty much of a bad state. So we're going to be going there because it's an amazing landscape, and get some good photos, maybe some good video, and yeah, we're just going to check that out. And I think we're going to go for a swim. Apparently the water's much colder down here because we're on the south coast of Western Australia. It's It's not the Indian Ocean anymore, it's the Southern Ocean, which eventually meets icebergs when you go far enough out. Obviously not in the vicinity of Australia, but apparently the water's very cold. So I've kind of said I'm just going to jump in. I'm probably regretting it a little bit because I ain't got a wetsuit. I've only got my shorts and I've got a rasher, which I don't think is going to offer much protection in the way of warmth, but I shall give it a go. And then we'll probably be back here later on this afternoon, and they've actually got here at Middleton Beach, the Big Four, they've actually got a heated outdoor pool and a spa, which is by all accounts very, very warm. So I think if we've been out for a swim in the extreme cold water, I think getting back to a pool and a spa will be quite nice. So if anyone's thinking of coming down to Albany, so far it's amazing. It's got like an untapped beauty about it. Doesn't look like it's been overdeveloped. Everything's kind of in character. It's like a quaint. It's big, but it's quite quaint, and it's a lot greener down here than I thought it would be. Yeah, it's a very lush, beautiful place. So I'm going to be capturing quite a bit more video later, just to show you everything what we're seeing from our point of view. So for now, I'll catch you later. Bye. Just arrived at Albany. Before we head anywhere, we just thought we'd have a drive around here, take a few pictures, and also just have a walk around, because it's a pretty historic town, and they've got like lots of nice old buildings, which is nice to see. There's actually a market on today as well, so we thought we'd actually just have a walk around the stalls and see if there's anything of any interest. Hi guys, we just drove to just past Denmark, and we're at Green's Pool, or Green Pools? Green's Pool, I think that's the terminology. This is a pretty nice setup. There's not a lot driving down here, but they've got this awesome like little car park area with some picnic tables. They've got toilet facilities, and the most important thing, which is pretty amazing, which I'm just going to show you, they've got one hell of an amazing view of the Southern Ocean, which I'm just going to quickly capture now from this vantage point. I mean, it's a drive like from Albany. I think to get here it took us about an hour, but just wait for this view. This is absolutely amazing. So this is the deck. Are you ready for this view? Now this is absolutely Mother Nature at its finest. That is absolutely stunning. Look at the depth of colour in the ocean, and the rock formations and all the little rock pools where you can kind of safely go for a swim without worrying about the current. Absolutely stunning. just going to head down to the actual path now, the trail which takes you down to the ocean. Which it's all this is new, like it's all just been recently done. So welcome to William Bay National Park. There's Alan, the other half of Expats and Cork. Check that out.
That's why we're here.
Now that is breathtaking, isn't it? Whoop. Gimbal. Yeah, if I hadn't have sworn, then I actually I didn't realise these were steps. I've just got down to Green Pools, and the picture from the viewing platform up top was amazing, but just being down here, this is like in a world of its own. This is like real natural beauty, just check it out. I mean, if you imagine, I'm just trying to imagine if this were back home in the UK. It's a weekend, and it's actually school holidays, and just the people on the beach. I mean, there's quite a few people, but it's not what you'd call chocker, is it? It's not actually that busy, and it's school holidays. There isn't that many people here, so. Yeah, this is the beauty of Western Australia. There's such a vastness of beaches and beautiful scenery that you can come to somewhere like this and it's not even that busy. You can still find your spot on the beach and you can still really enjoy yourself, and you don't feel like you're touching anyone next to you. So Alan, we've just come down to Green Pools, and this is the second time you've been here in 2 weeks. What do you think of it?
Second time in 2 weeks for Green Pools. This is the second time I came here purely because the first time was so awesome. Brought the boys in, they loved it last week, but you just need to have a look around it. We were jumping off that big rock out there last week. Maybe I've shot that again today. But look at it, I mean, you can walk for miles. There's hardly a soul here. It's like paradise, man. This is probably the coolest place I've ever been to, I think, ever. And I've done a fair bit of travelling when we got married and stuff. We took the kids, Lauren and I were everywhere. And this is probably, I don't know, one of the nicest places I've been. Wait till you feel the water though. You know,
it's the rock formations as well, and it gives it something extra, and because it's like a lagoon. Yeah, it's so safe for the kids, isn't it?
So the guys at paddle boarding and kayaking and stuff. And we swam right out to it. We maybe need to see it right over in the way over there behind me. We're quite far out.
You're wrapped up though, you're alright.
Oh, it's definitely colder last week. Huh?
This is awesome, isn't it?
Mega. It's nice. It's not actually that cold, wasn't it? It would definitely, I thought maybe it's a wetsuit, but it was definitely colder.
Yeah, I've exhausted all of the rocks.
Come on, Alan, do it for expats and Cork outs.
If I could find a grip.
Yep, I got him.
You got
Next side.
What?
I'm not getting up there, there's no way. Alright, there's zero grip. Give me that.
Right, see if I can do it.
There's a million.
Now the sound is pretty bad, I imagine, but getting up on this rock was pretty hard work. Ready?
Not the person in front of it. I feel like fucking David Hasselhoff there.
Did I die?
Oh yeah? Everything a great dive, but it's a good dive. It's better than faster, you're going to jump. I'm going to jump for that.
Hi guys, still down at Green's Pool. We've just walked a short distance south and then we've come to Elephant Rocks. This is like pretty spectacular. Just take a look at this. So we're just going to head down these steps. Not sure what's down here, but I'll just spin the camera around. This looks pretty special coming down here, and hopefully the wind will subside and you'll actually be able to hear me. That's good, little respite for someone that's struggling. So I've actually got to the bottom of Elephant Rocks and we've got this like little carving through the granite, which is pretty special. Look at this. Let's think how all these are. Down onto the beach. Now you get wet feet. Oh. If you can see, it's up to my knees. That's a pretty cool little crack through the earth, crack through the granite. Look at this. This is pretty special. I mean, you're out here and there's like, what, a handful of people? And again, you're in like a protected little area where you know you're not going to get any sharks or anything coming in. And you've got all these monolithic rock formations everywhere. This looks amazing. I mean, again, it's a weekend. It's a school holiday, and we've got this little hidden gem of a beach, and just look how many people are here. I mean, it's probably like 10 people if you're lucky. I mean, this is beautiful. I mean, look at these rocks. Been here for probably millennia. but this is absolutely stunning, and you wouldn't even know this were here. I mean, unless you actually ventured down here, it's like one of them places what nobody would know exists. I've got to actually say, first time visiting like the southwest, been to Margaret River, but first time coming down to Albany and Denmark, and it might not be overly populated, but the sights are absolutely out of this world. And for anyone that wants to visit remote Australia, where you've actually still got a bit of life and there is still people around, but you want to experience just Mother Nature at its best without feeling overcrowded and having too many people around you, then coming down here is just beautiful. I mean, you can come down here just in your car, chuck a tent in the back, and you can experience this beautiful part of Western Australia. It's absolutely stunning. Doesn't really get any better than this, to be honest. Does not get any better. I mean, look at it. And what I keep saying it, but I'm like, weekend, school holidays, you've got this little picturesque little landscape that's like a slice of heaven, and you've got 10 people max. 10 people. It's unbelievable. I mean, to say that Mother Nature's split this in two with a bolt of lightning, for us poor infidels, is probably a bit extreme, but it's the kind of impression that you get because it's just perfectly carved out. We were actually just going to head back, but we just took another little detour off the path, and we're on this, like, obviously this rock that's been here for millennia, that's outlived the dinosaurs. And just look at Mother Nature. Hi guys, just made another little detour on our trek to a little hidden gem which we kind of stumbled across by accident, which is called Cable Beach. A few warnings about slipping. Whoa. Again, it's just showing the sheer beauty of the coastline down here on the Southern Oceans. So we're going to head down to Cable Beach now, which is just down there. It's pretty windy, but look at this view. This is absolutely stunning. Just got to watch the old footing because it's pretty not slippy, but pretty rough terrain. Now this is absolutely stunning. It's not for the faint-hearted though. You've got to be pretty comfortable on your feet. Yeah, as it says there, deadly combination, so pretty much be careful. Well, I've just come down the steps. I mean, I don't know how many there are. I'd probably say there's over 100 steps down here, and it's not for the faint-hearted, because one false step and you're pretty much dust. I mean, just look here. The steps come down onto this slope, and if you end up down there, it's not a very good outcome. But again, just this little hidden gem off the beaten track, which you could easily drive past without actually realising it's here. And again, it's said it on the other videos, it's a weekend, schools are off, and you've got this magnificent piece of coastline, and you can have it all to yourself. Like literally all to yourself. I mean, I'm with Alan and his two boys, and there's not a soul here. I mean, look at the beach, not a single person on it. One thing I wouldn't advise is coming down here in extreme weather, because I can imagine that if you do, you could end up getting washed out to sea, because you can tell the water creeps up with the wave. I mean, the waves are so powerful. I'm actually getting ocean spray now from down there. I just look at the boulders. I mean, this coastline hasn't changed. It's literally been like this forever. I mean, apart from the lighthouse up there, just to keep obviously the ship safe, because obviously if they start coming into shore and they hit one of these rocks, it's game over. Just going to take you on a bit of a wander while I'm here. I mean, there's got to be rock formations down here that the chances are nobody's ever stood on them. I just imagine some of these rocks. I mean, imagine the weight that's in some of these. Again, don't think you're coming down here when it's obviously really heavy rains. I mean, it's windy as hell today, but when this is wet, I can imagine it gets pretty slippy, and if you fall down there, you're in trouble. But again, I can't stress how untouched this coastline is. I mean, you could literally film a movie or any kind of TV program set in the dinosaurs, or before or after, before civilization as we know it existed, and there's nothing here that'd actually give it away. apart from that guy. Yeah, this is like truly beautiful. Makes you kind of appreciate what Mother Nature's given to us, really. I mean, you can't buy this, can you? You cannot buy it. If you can see that rock that's just out there on the balancing on a pedestal, that's actually only been there recently, and it actually got washed up on shore, and it's reportedly weighs an estimated 100 tons, and which is equivalent to like a locomotive engine. So if you think how fierce Mother Nature must have been on that particular day to cause that to actually wash up on shore, pretty amazing, spectacular, breathtaking. Hey guys, we've just arrived at the Gap. I'd never actually heard of it until last week, and then I actually saw on the news that the guy that actually fell off, and thankfully he didn't actually do too much damage. How about? Hang on, I'm just taking a picture of myself taking a picture. So here we are, here's the Gap. The Gap's over there, and then this way is the natural bridge. So we'll go over, we'll just take a look at the natural bridge first. And that is pretty impressive. Just read you a passage of a remarkable rescue. On the evening of March 14th, 1978, South Australian tourist Stephen Matthews was with friends admiring the natural bridge when he decided to clamber down to the slippery shelf below the bridge to take some photos. He saw a huge wave approaching from the sea and tried desperately to scramble back to a safe vantage point. The sea pulled him back, the wet rock grazing him as he slid under the bridge. Over the shelf's ledge and into the deep sea. Miraculously, he survived, and he surfaced beyond the maelstrom and started to drift westwards as the night fell. To actually see this, it's a true privilege, and to imagine Mother Nature has carved this out over a period of millions of years, and probably up until the lighthouse being built, this probably was seen by pretty much no one. So to be stood here today and look at it, it's truly breathtaking. We're just going up to the Gap now on the purpose-made platform. And it's extremely safe up here anyway, because you've got this path that we're actually walking on. So there's no danger of actually having any accidents. And again, oh, breathtaking. There's a lot of people that adventure off this path onto the rocks, but that's when accidents happen, and sadly last week someone actually fell and had to be airlifted to hospital. So we're not going to go off the path. But I mean, even this bridge, it's an engineering feat. mean, it's metal on the coast, so corrosion's a big problem, even with stainless steel. So this is an amazing view. Wow. This just kind of makes you, hard to put into words really. It's just breathtaking. Like over millions of years, it's just carved out of the cliff face, and the water's going inland, and the power. Like if you actually fell in there, you've not got much hope, to say the least. And what's scary is, the scariest part of all is when you actually look down. That, if I had to sum up the south coast, the Southern Ocean, Albany, Denmark area down here in 2 words, breathtaking. That's all it is, because it's another world down here. I mean, you talk about New Zealand having untouched landscapes, but there's so much to explore down here, which is pretty much been like this forever. I mean, you could probably go back to the dinosaurs and the rock formations and the coastline, and the fact that it's just untouched beauty where no one's put the footprint on it. It's just outstanding. Obviously, I'm not taking into account the big man-made steel bridge over there, or these footpaths to actually get you to and from safely. I mean, I've only scratched the surface. I've only saw Albany in Denmark and been to the Gap and a couple of other places. But if you take this anything to go by what the rest of the south coast of Western Australia is like, it's absolutely breathtaking. So yeah, the final leg of the journey, we're walking back now. We've actually done all we set out to do. We've visited Albany, seen Denmark, been to the Gap, been to the Elephant Rocks. Pretty darn amazing.